Hello all. So in today's class, we will work on selectors. We'll understand what is a selector, what is the duty of a selector, and why selectors are mandatory in CSS. Before we proceed, a short recap on the previous class. So we have seen how to apply CSS, the three ways: inline, internal, and external. We know the CSS syntax, which is made up of a selector and a declaration block is made up of a property and value. And we are familiar with the term selector. So today, in depth, we'll understand selector and its types. So before we proceed, let us understand what is the need to use selectors in CSS. As we all know, there are few drawbacks of HTML and CSS which are covered by selectors. Now, generally, in programming languages, there is a flexibility while using the code. The codes can be reused. For example, consider a scripting language, JavaScript. In JavaScript, we have procedures. And there are two types of procedures, a function and a subroutine. Now, function we have been learning in class 11th. And we know function will include a block of code, a series of code. And when this function is called, these codes are executed and you directly get the answer or the result. And these functions can be called in any part of the program any number of times, as well as it can be called in some other program too. That means in a particular function, a block of code is written only once and it is used repeatedly. Correct? So generally, in case of programming languages, this is a very good feature available, that is code reusability. But the same feature is not available in HTML. Why? Because HTML is a very, very, very low level language. It's not a programming language and it is a markup language. So we need to copy the code again and again and use it. And to avoid this, that is copying the code repeatedly, to avoid that, we need selectors. That means, in short, functions are used, or if we use functions, our code can be reused. And if we use selectors, styles can be reused. How? We can write a group of styles one time and call it multiple times with the help, that is the name of a selector. So then what is a selector? A selector is a chain of one or more simple styles which are separated by semicolon. And this CSS provides different types of selectors. There are 7 different types of selectors in CSS, which will help us to get more control on the HTML element. Element means tags. And we can apply styles to them. So what are the 7 different types of selectors? We have a tag or an element selector. We have an ID, a class, group, universal, customized, and combination. These two are not mentioned in the textbook. We'll just understand what are customized and combination selector. And today we'll try to learn a tag selector and a ID selector and a class selector. Okay. So what is a tag selector? All the children must be familiar with tag selector and we have used it also. Recollect internal and embedded CSS. We used to call the name of a tag, which was followed by curly brackets into which we have been writing the declaration block, that is the property and the value. So what is a tag selector? When the name of a tag is called or is used as a selector, we call it as a tag selector. See, the tag or the element selector selects the HTML element by name. Like for example, I have an HTML structure with some p tags. I want to give it a background color. And if I'm using internal CSS, then what will I do? I'll call the body tag. So body, B-O-D-Y body, into the angular brackets is a tag. And the name of this tag is body. So my selector will be BODY body. And into the curly brackets, we will write background dash color and the name of a color. Correct? Okay, let us see the syntax of tag selector. And its syntax is very easy. The proper general CSS rule. The tag name, that is the selector, followed by curly brackets into which any number of declaration blocks, right? And curly bracket close. I've put an example here. I'm using a division tag. div is a pad tag. So div tag will be included into the body section. And this particular part, this part of the code will be, if we are doing internal CSS, it will be returned into the header section. And if we are doing external CSS, we will write this code in a new notepad. This code will be included in a new notepad which will have pure CSS, no HTML. So my selector is div followed by curly brackets, followed by the name of the property, that is color, colon red, and second property border. You can include any number of properties here. Okay. To understand this better, let us practically work on a code. So we have a simple code. This has the structure of HTML with some heading tags H2, H3, H4 and some p tags. Okay. No CSS, nothing. So Control S and refresh. Look at the browser. As it is, the code what is written is displayed here. The first text is displayed in H2 size. And what is H2? That is the heading. There are 6 different levels of heading. And H2 tag will give you the second level of heading, bolder text, and new line. There is a space in between because it is a block level tag. Correct? Same. H3, third level of heading, and H4 is fourth level of heading. Okay. And some 3 paragraphs which are displayed as it is. Now let us apply internal CSS. And to do internal CSS, I need a pad tag called as style with a compulsory attribute known as text or CSS. Okay. So as it is a pad tag, first I'll close it because before I forget to close it into this. Now, what we need to do? We are working with tag selector. So this code I have saved with tag selector.html. Okay. And I want to apply to this text some kind of formatting. Okay. Internal CSS. So what should I do? This text is surrounded by which tag? H2 and H2 close. So my selector will be the name of a tag, right? As I'm working with tag selector, so it will be H2. And how do we apply? What is the general syntax? Curly brackets open. If I want to give a color, now I'll not give the name of the color. We'll see hexadecimal color codes. Okay. So this is blue color and curly bracket close. This is called as the CSS syntax, which is made up of selector and declaration block. Okay, declaration block is written in between flower brackets or curly brackets. And what is declaration block? It has a property, colon, and value. This is its value, terminated by semicolon. I want to give color to the H3 tag. So my selector will be H3, curly bracket, color. Hexadecimal color codes are preceded by, this is called as what you all call as hashtag. This is basically in programming called as number sign. Okay, so now I'll give a different color, 00, FF00. This is green, I guess. I don't remember exactly. And next is H4 tag. Why H4? Because this text is included in H4. Okay, so I'll give color colon and FF0000 semicolon, curly bracket close, control S. You want to make it readable, you can put it in a new line. Okay, control S and reload. Now look at the output. The title tag has tag selector demo. See, the title bar displays tag selector demo. The H2 tag has got a blue color text. H3, when the tag selector was H3, it has a green color text, and the tag selector H4, it has the red color text, correct? And we have not given any formatting to this, any CSS or any formatting or any attribute. So it is coming simple plain black color as it was written here. It is displayed over here. Okay. Now let us again understand looking at this. Okay, there are three p tags. Okay, so if I apply CSS to these three p tags, so my selector is P, enter, or I can write it in the same line. I'm just using a different way, making it more readable. I'll say font, size. Okay, I'll not give size, align, ALIGN, align. And what I'll say, CENTER, center, semicolon, curly brackets, close. Okay, you want me to give it a color? I'll give a color, say some other color. So FF00, I don't know which color. Curly bracket close. Okay, it is closed down. Control S, and okay, it is a light color, right? So if I include 00 here, Control S and refresh. Okay, a dark color. Correct. Now what happened? Observe. All the three p tags, all the three paragraphs are given a color. We had applied, or our selector was only P. So the P tag was surrounded by this text, or this text was surrounded by P tag. Again, it is written, this style will be applied on every paragraph. Me too. Me too means to this also, as well as to this. Why? Because my selector was P, correct? And observe, all the three are P tags, right? So we have selected the name of a tag and applied some property. That property is applied to all the three piece of text. Okay. So if tag selector is clear, let us proceed further. See. So okay, what is the tag selector? The tag or the element selector will select the HTML element by name. We have seen the practical demonstration. Let us go further. I've put up an example here, same what we did, and the output over here. Okay. Now, if we have understood tag selectors, let us proceed further to the second selector called as class selector, right? Now, besides these, in addition to setting a style for an HTML element, our CSS will allow us to specify our own selectors called as IDs and class. Okay, so we'll see what is a class selector. Now, why do we need these class selectors? Okay, before we learn what is a class selector, let us see why do we need these class selectors. Observe this code. There were three paragraphs and all the three paragraph tags had the same look, correct? All three appeared in some magenta color, some pink color, and same style of writing. But if I wanted individually each one of them to come in a different color, then what? Then what we need to do? Internal CSS will not work. External will also not work, correct? We have to apply individually, we have to apply inline CSS, right? That means the selectors what we have learned are showing some kind of limitation. And these limitations will be overcome with the help of class and ID selectors, right? So what is a class selector? If we have similar tags in our web pages and we want all these tags to, or all these text which is surrounded by the tags to look different, then you call each one of the tags by a different name, right? You call it by a different name, and when you are applying styles, call that particular name. So to give a unique name or a different name to each of our tags, what we do is we introduce classes and IDs in our CSS. So we can give our tags a different name by using the class attribute as well as the ID. Slowly we'll understand the difference. When we are working with classes, that is class attribute, the class attribute will be called in our style sheet with the help of a dot. Okay, it will be called in our style sheet with the help of a dot. So dot means it is actually known as in programming languages periods. So our class selector is used to specify a style for a group of elements. And it will use the HTML class attribute and will be defined with a dot, that is period. Okay, so we'll go slowly and understand one by one. What is a class selector? To select the tags by their class attribute value and apply styles on them, we use the class selector. The class selector uses the HTML class attribute, and this class is a global attribute. The meaning of global is this class attribute can be returned with every tag. It can be included with every single tag of HTML. And how is it defined, or how is it called? When you want to apply style, how will you call the class attribute? It will be called with a dot. We don't call it as a dot. It is a full stop symbol, but we call it as a period in case of programming languages. And this class selector will select every HTML element with a specified class value and apply styles on them. Okay, we can group these class selectors or group these HTML elements under a single class, and we can apply styles on them. So what will be the basic syntax? Still, if it is confusing, we'll understand. What is the basic syntax to apply these class selectors? Syntax is same, the general CSS syntax, selector and declaration, correct? But in cases of classes, as I said, when we are calling, the selector will become the name of a class. Observe now. Okay. See, observe the syntax here. This is the tag name, how we write the name of a tag, and this is our class, is our attribute. So class attribute can be used with any tag of HTML. Like style is an attribute with every tag, class is also an attribute with every tag. But when will we use class? When we find, like we said earlier, when we find similar tags. Okay, there are many P tags, many H1 tags, but we want to give different styling to them. We want to apply different styles to them. Then we will introduce the class attribute in each one of the same tag. And we will call it by a, and what, as it is an attribute, it will have a value. What will be its value? It can be anything. Okay, this class attributes value can be, you have to give here a name. It can be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H or any other name. The only rule is class attributes value should not begin with numbers. Okay, this part is happening in tags, that is the body section. And this particular part, what you observe, this is the CSS part. Okay, the CSS syntax. where our selector, where the tags name was selector, here the class attributes value. See, whatever is its value, that will be the selector, preceded by dot. And then this part is same. We have the CSS declaration list. I've put an example. For example, I have a p tag and I want to give it a border. Okay. So I've introduced in the p tag class as an attribute and return something. You not necessary you write solid border, you write anything. I've written the name as solid border. And I'm calling it where, in internal or external. How? Using a period. Okay. And into the curly brackets, I've written something like some CSS property I've written, right? See, I've mentioned here the class selector name should not start with a number. Dot in CSS indicates periods. Okay. I'll show you an example here. Okay. Let us take an example with the class center. Now, what have I done? Normal HTML structure, correct? Which has an H1 tag and a P tag. This heading is blue and center aligned. This paragraph is blue and center. This is the piece of text available. Now, H1 tag is heading and P is paragraph. I want both the tags to appear similar. Then what should I do? I've introduced the class attribute and given it a value called as center. You can give here any other name. I've given it a value center. Correct? Similarly, P tag also I've introduced the class attribute and I've called it by the same name. Now, when I'm calling with the same name, I want to apply the same style to both of them. So what is my selector? Into the header section, I've written dot center by the name of the class attribute value. This is the class is an attribute. What is its value? Here what we have written. Center, that is called. Okay, how is it called? Preceded by a dot. Followed by this part we know. Now what will be the output? Look, both the heading tag and the paragraph are appearing blue in color. Okay, so what we'll do, let us take a small example practically and understand class selectors. We have 3 tags here. I'll make it P tag and H3. Suppose. Okay, let us apply styles. Want to see the output of this? File menu, open, browse, and its name is class selector. This is the simple output which I've opened. P tag, H3 tag, H4 tag. Okay, it is appearing bigger because I have changed the size of the page to 150 so that it is visible to everyone. Here, I'll apply internal CSS and I'll say style type equal to text or CSS. I hope children are understanding. Close with style. Okay. Now, I want to apply formatting to both P and H3. I want both of them to look similar. Okay. So what will I do? First, I will call this user class attribute and give it a unique name. What name I should give? So I'll say format, some name I am giving. Right. Now, Control S, I'll just apply some kind of internal CSS. How? I want to apply CSS for this part. Okay. So we are working on class selectors. This is my class attribute introduced in the tag. It has a value called as format, right? So I have to call here. How do I call it? Because we are working with class selectors are called with a period, that is dot, followed by the name. So what name I should give? FORMAT, exactly the same name. And here I'll say font size 14 point. Font, I'll give a color, say some color, and curly bracket close. Control S. Let us observe the output. Observe the first paragraph tag, okay, has got 14 point size and color as sign, right? Now, I want this both these paragraphs both the heading tags, text between the headings tag should also come with the same formatting features. Now what to do? Again we'll write. Will we write again like this? H3 and Control C, enter, Control V, again H4, enter, Control V. Okay, what I've done? Copied and pasted it many times, correct? Same formatting feature, so I'll save and reload. Observing what happened? All the three are looking similar, right? Only because this text is surrounded by H3, this has become bold. But coming in all the three in 14 point. But what happened? The size of the code increases. We can avoid this. How? Instead of doing all these things, what I'll do, Control S, first I'll refresh and show you. Okay, instead of doing all this, I will write here class equal to same name I'll give, format. Okay, same. I'll copy this, Control C, Control V, Control S and reload. Observing. So all the three, the P tag, the H3 and the H4, all the three pieces of text, I have got the same kind of formatting, correct? So my code readability is also increased, redundancy is reduced, correct? Right? So it has become easy now. Similar, we will also understand with our first page. In this case, what happened? We had three P tags and all the three P tags, there is the output. Okay, file menu, new tab, and I'll say open the output and keep. It was called as tag selector. Okay, see, all the three were looking similar, but I don't want all the three P tags text to look similar. Then what should I do? Here I can introduce class equal to, what should I say? Say P1, I'll give some name. And in this case, I'll give class attribute equal to, say P2. Can give any other name. I'm using P1 and P2. And in this case, I'll not give anything. Let it be like this. Now, we need to apply formatting. So I'll say, how should I call the classes? This is the name of the class. And how it will be called? Classes are called with periods. That is a dot and the name P1. And followed by, I'll change the value, left and color. Okay, Control S and refresh. Observing, the first paragraph has got a different color. Again, we'll Control C. So how it should be called? Dot P2. Font I don't want. I want some other feature. I'll say font. Size 16 point and color FF. Control S and refresh. Observing. So all the three paragraphs are looking different, correct? Right? So what did we do? We have only observed all the three paragraphs, right? What we have done? The three paragraphs, to make them look different, we called them by a different name. How? Using the class attribute. And here we have given the formatting. If you are not able to see, okay, I'll just make it like this. Okay, right? So all the three paragraphs, we have given different formatting feature, right? So how did we use? We are working with class selectors. And what is our class selector doing? It is giving a unique identification to, sorry, it is giving a different identification to each of the paragraphs, right? So to implement this class selector, what we wrote in place of selectors, we have been writing the class attribute value, which was preceded by a dot, right? And what it did, it will select every HTML tag which has a specified class attribute value and apply the styles on them, right? I hope you all are understanding this.